What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today, BCH USD. It is the 9th day of July, and here we are at about $237 with roughly 10 hours and 20 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. We're talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders, by the way, and the House of the Dragon. We're riding the Green Dragon today a little bit, and lately we have been. 10 hours, 20 minutes left in this day. We're talking about today because I really do believe Bitcoin Cash is about to see some extended growth from here. What we're doing right now is we're forming a high and tight bull flag. We'll go over the measure moves and all that stuff in a second. We'll dissect this thing and see what it's worth. I mean, it really could come down a little bit more, but I do believe we're going to see higher prices. You've seen such a phenomenal drop, okay? We look at this here. Throughout this very stagnant time, there wasn't really any volume that came in. Because there was such a lack in volume here, and as we pushed lower, there was just lower volume, I really thought that we'd see some growth, a bounce back. Bitcoin Cash likes to be volatile. It doesn't like to move down, be stagnant, and then just move in a straight line. That's not normally what it does, right? Normally. Very volatile on the way up. Very volatile on the way up. Same thing, right? Very volatile on the way down. It doesn't just move in a straight line. And sometimes it moves in a straight line. Sometimes it does move in a straight line. But I'm beside myself there. That's not what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is because you've moved down in such a straight line, such a phenomenal way, with very low volume, I might add, and then all this volume started to come in here as we were at this low point, right? Even these lower levels of volume here are comparable to what you saw at the beginning of this drop. I believe a lot of exchanging of hands has taken place here. I believe there's a lot of buying going on. And regardless of what you believe, maybe this is your first time seeing a video that I've made on Bitcoin Cash. Regardless of what you believe of Bitcoin Cash, maybe you think it's a scam. Maybe you think anybody who talks about it's a scammer. I encourage you to look into it. I encourage you to look into what Bitcoin Cash is, why people are saying the things that they're saying. It is cheaper to send than Bitcoin. That's a fact, okay? If you're transacting, if you're going to send Bitcoin from one wallet to another, or Bitcoin Cash from one wallet to another, Bitcoin Cash is faster. It's a fact. It's also cheaper. It's a fact. Okay, that's it. If you're mining, you're more profitable mining Bitcoin than you are Bitcoin Cash, right? That's because Bitcoin's worth more. That's a fact too. But that doesn't mean that you can't have an open mind and invest in both or one, or maybe even if you thought that Bitcoin Cash was a scam, to at least entice why you think that. Do you think it's a scam because you were told it's a scam? Do you think it's a bad investment because you were told it's a bad investment? Or do you actually believe that to your core, and do you have your own reasons for that? Maybe I'm not aware of that, right? If your reason is, oh, it's because Roger Ver made the coin. He didn't make the coin. He supported the coin. Roger Ver was called Bitcoin Jesus before Bitcoin Cash ever came around. You guys know why he was called Bitcoin Jesus? It's because he was the first, he was the OG venture capitalist to promote and spread the good word of Bitcoin across the world. He had a large hand. Roger Ver, for all the people that hate Roger Ver in the Bitcoin community, Bitcoin Cash community loves him. He had a large part. He's a large predominant reason why Bitcoin became so prolific in the early days. If it wasn't for him, there's probably a lot of people who would not have heard of Bitcoin. And maybe there would have been another Roger Ver. But there's not. There's only one. We only have the one. So the fact that that guy supports Bitcoin Cash should say something. It shouldn't upset you, right? People get upset. And I get it. Roger's a polarizing figure. He's a passionate man. But you don't have to like the guy. I like the guy. You don't have to like the guy, though. But it's not his coin. You think Roger Ver is the one that created Bitcoin Cash? That's not it. He just promoted it. The same guy that promoted and spread the word of Bitcoin around the world. He chose this hard fork because it adheres to the rhetoric he was spreading before it ever hard forked. Peer-to-peer electronic digital cash. Bitcoin, if you're new to the space, if you're an OG, you're even aware of this as well. People don't talk about it like that anymore, man. People talk about it like it's a store of value. And that's great. That's awesome. You need a store of value. We do. As human beings, we need a store of value. Real estate, gold, Bitcoin, awesome. Store of value. Bitcoin Cash is peer-to-peer electronic cash and a store of value by default. Because if it is peer-to-peer electronic cash and it's adopted in that way, Well, its value is going to grow to more than $237. Let's just say that, okay? It'll definitely grow more than what it is now. But enough of the philosophy. I just more said that because I've got some new followers in. There's a stigma around Bitcoin Cash. And, at the risk of sounding like a crazy person, and anybody who invests in Bitcoin Cash, we're a little bit not right in the head. I want to just explain why. And not just explain why, that's not even a full in-depth explanation as to why I like Bitcoin Cash. It's just part of it, but also to entice you maybe to have an open mind, right? We don't have to agree on things, we don't have to like things, but I would bet the majority of people who don't like Bitcoin Cash, they don't like it because they heard from somebody that they thought it was a scam, and that person thinks it's a scam because they heard from somebody that they think it's a scam, and just all this repetitive stuff down to the point where it came from somebody who just didn't like Roger Ver. Like, I would bet that's 90% of why people don't like Bitcoin Cash. And if it's because you don't like Roger, cool, whatever. This isn't his coin. This isn't his coin. He's got a lot of vested interest in this coin. He's got a lot of vested interest in Bitcoin too. They're like, look into it. Just look into it. Entice yourself. It's the same stuff that I tell people whenever they say they don't like Bitcoin. The reason you don't like Bitcoin is because you don't know anything about it. The reason you don't like Bitcoin Cash probably is because you know nothing about it, right? If you don't like it, I would bet a lot of money. Did you know that it's cheaper to transact, to send from wallet to wallet? Did you know it's faster? Did you know it's literally better and it adheres more? Ask Grok. Ask your favorite AI. Say, between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin, what is more coherent? What's more true to the Satoshi white paper? Which one? It's Bitcoin Cash. AI knows. I knows. The Dragon Riders know. It's the 9th day of July. We haven't even done our TA yet, damn it. Darn it. Shoot. Crap. We're moving up here. And we're moving down. And on the daily time frame, it's somewhat obvious. But you look at the 4-hour time frame, it's a little bit more obvious that here we have a bull flag. I love bull flags. They're so great. That bull flag measure move will take you above $300. Coincidentally, throughout this very tenacious drop, it also takes you right here to this little knot of consolidation. Right there. Right there. You look at the daily time frame. Zoom back out. Zumba. Look at the high here, the relative high there from the 10th of January to the low here. It's also right there at your 382. It is so common to move up to your 382, wick above it even, find resistance there, pull back to your 236, and then continue to run. Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if we did just that? Look at that. All the way up to your 382, pull back to your 236, and then run up to your golden ratio. It's very common to do. We take away the Fibonacci retracement. Look at what we're talking about doing here. We're talking about finding resistance here, where this knot is. Talking about finding support here. So that's at 382, 236, where prior resistance is. Where prior resistance is. It's almost as if that makes sense for a positive structural standing to take place. And maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe, oh maybe. We move up to that 382, just above $300 there, find resistance, and we come all the way back down, and we form a double bottom. Maybe we form a lower low. Whatever the case may be, if we do go lower, I don't think we're going to go that much lower. I've been saying it now for a couple weeks. I think that the low is in for Bitcoin Cash, and I theorized it back here. We thought that was it. Whatever. We're very near. If this is not the low for Bitcoin Cash, it's very near the low. We come back down, we see a lower low. It's not going to be this terrible, dramatic thing like this was. If it is, oh, it's probably dead. It's probably dead. But I don't think it's going to happen. Because again, a lot of volume, a lot of money came in down here, guys. It didn't come in on the drop. It came in after the drop. There's a reason for that. I have my theories for that. I don't need to share them, but I've already shared them. You already know if you've been watching the channel. We look at the 1-hour time frame. It just looks so much more obvious that this is a bull flag on the 1-hour and the 4-hour. The RSI here is taking on bullish structure. Overall, you're getting overbought. You're not getting oversold, right? Bullish in itself. You're predominantly living above the 50. Your time spent below the 50 is very short-lived. Lately, it's a little bit longer-lived, but you've also been consolidating. You're seeing more bearish structure and all you're doing is consolidating where the bullish structure is actually pumping you up. That's bullish, guys. You're in an overall bullish environment. Not only that, but you've also broken out of your lower high trajectory here, your lower low trajectory. You saw that end in the oversold zone. Now you're in a higher low, higher high formation. Maybe you get a little sloppy, whatever, but I think you're going to continue to move up. We look at the stochastics, bullish, bouncing off the 50. Nice, we like to see it. MACD crossing above the 0 with your oscillators, also breaking out of your lower high formation with the oscillators here, these blue and orange lines. Breaking above the 0 level here. This line with your oscillators is very important. It's very good. Nice to see. It's the 1 hour time frame. It's less significant than other time frames, but it's good. 4 hour time frame here. You look at this. Now, it is possible that we do go lower. Again, we could, from here, go lower. It is possible. We could go down to 220. We could even go down to 210, you know, working in this kind of formation and just working our way down over the coming days. It's possible. The 1 hour time frame looks good, though, I got to say. 4 hour time frame, the RSI, yeah, you've got this lower high, lower low dynamic. It's not necessarily exciting. It doesn't excite me. But you did bounce off the 40. You are living above the 50. You did get overbought. You haven't gotten oversold. There are positives to take away from this. I think it's good enough to move higher, but it doesn't have to. Stochastics look bullish here. Look like you want to move up, but you could find resistance at the 50. There are some, it kind of is more of a coin flip on this 4 hour time frame. The MACD is bullish overall. You could be bouncing here, but also you could come a little bit lower to the 0 and find support there. I mean, it's a little bit more of a coin flip. It would make a lot of sense to continue to move up based on the 1 hour, but based on the 4 hour, it makes just as much sense to move up as it does to move down. So kind of inconclusive there. But whatever, it is what it is. You look at the daily time frame. RSI rejecting the overbought zone, coming down to the 60 area. You found resistance here before. Now you're looking to find support. That's a good thing if today closes green. Stochastics finding support at the overbought zone. That's also a good thing. And then the MACD has been green for a second. You are at the 0. This is an area where you typically expect to find resistance. Even a little bit, even momentary, and then you can come back up and break through. Sometimes you do just break through it, but here you found resistance. Here you found resistance just below. Here you found resistance at it. I'm having a hard time imagining that we do just bust right through it, but that can happen. Maybe we do consolidate further. You know, maybe we do consolidate just a little bit further. Where are we on that high to low fib? Nope. I guess, you know, 236 resistance. I don't think we'd come all the way back down to the 069. We can consolidate more. It is Thursday. It is Thursday. You know, we could, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're consolidating more. This bull flag is shaping up. And then next week we break out. And then the following week, you know, going into the end of the month, we're up at $300. Maybe that's what we see. Bitcoin sees its bear market finale going into August, September. Bitcoin Cash pulls back with it, but it gets a higher low because it pumped up so much, you know, something like that. I can see that happening. I really do believe that the bottom is in for Bitcoin Cash. And if you're thinking, well, that's crazy. You think Bitcoin's going to see a lower low, but Bitcoin Cash has found its low already? Yes, I do. And it's not crazy. We've seen that happen so many times in Bitcoin Cash's history, where Bitcoin has gone lower and Bitcoin Cash did not go lower, where Bitcoin found its low and Bitcoin Cash still went lower. We've seen these dynamics play out, okay? It doesn't have to be the low. We could go lower. But if we do go lower, it's not going to be by much. You're not a dummy for buying here. You're not a dummy for buying here. You're a dummy for buying and selling if it goes down. But if you're just buying in this area and holding for the long term, well, even if you feel like a dummy for a minute, you're going to feel like a genius for a lot longer than a minute. I'll tell you that much. I don't have much else to say. I love Bitcoin Cash. I love the Bitcoin Cash community. I know not everybody likes the Bitcoin Cash community, and I know not all the people in the Bitcoin Cash community like me, but, you know, whatever. Some people want to blame me for the drop. The thing is, guys, we saw this drop coming, right? I actually had, shout out to El Chulo. Shout out to you, Pika. I actually consider Pika a friend. I know he talks a lot of smack, but I do consider him a friend. It takes a lot to get under my skin, guys. You got to be more than just hurt about price action. You know, he was talking about how this thing drops. Like, how's Bitcoin Cash working out? What are you talking about, bro? We were bearish here. Here we were bullish, and then we were bearish here. We saw this drop happening, and literally, you can go back and watch my videos in May. We were talking about the price going down to 250. I didn't think it would happen like this. I thought it would be a little bit more methodical, less tenacious. Damn. You know, we got it all done with all at once. I certainly didn't think that we were going to go below $200. But we were bearish here. We were absolutely bearish here. Yeah, all the way down to this price. And I told people even here, I'm like, it's not a bad time to buy. It's a better time to buy, but if you wait, I'm pretty sure we're going to go below $300. Below 300, that's whenever I started getting excited to buy. But I still said we probably do work our way down to 250. If you're patient, you'll probably get a chance to buy below $300. I didn't think that meant we were going to go down right then and there, but we did. You know, all I'm trying to say, guys, is trust the process. Trust the process. The people that hate me because of Bitcoin Cash, because they're invested, they bought the tops. They didn't take profits. I bought down here, man. I wanted to buy here, but I missed the boat, right? I sold up here last cycle. Like I sold, before we actually dropped. I wanted to buy down here, but I missed the boat. And then I waited and I bought back on this dip. I literally bought the low points, man. I literally bought the low points. I mean, you can go back and watch those videos too if you can sift through the thousands of videos I've made. I literally bought the low points. This is in the beginning of my YouTube channel. It's been like 3 years. When did I make my first video? I need to check that out. I think we're coming up on 3 years, guys. Anyways, it might have been past 3 years already, actually. Wow. Anyways, it's a whole different thought. We're back at that area where I first invested in last cycle. This is a phenomenal time to buy. Even if we do go lower, it's still a phenomenal time to buy. Just buy and hold for the long term. I very much believe if you're patient, this thing will pay off famously. It will pay off famously. I do believe Bitcoin Cash from here has 100x potential. I do believe it will see new all-time highs. I do believe it'll go to $20,000 and beyond. But you have to have long-term conviction in mind for that to work out. If you're in it for the short term, you probably panic if it goes lower. You're in it for the short term, you might take profits, and then you'll miss the boat on the next pump. If you're in it to retire, you're in it to put some serious cash in. DCA over time, always encouraged. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but also just hold, man. If there is one coin in the top 20, I don't even know if Bitcoin Cash is in the top 20 right now. Let's see. It's number 19. Yeah, it is. If there's one coin in the top 20 that I could say I'm the most confident in will see a 100x within the next 4 years, it would be Bitcoin Cash. And if not within 4 years, maybe 10 years, but probably within the next 4 years, probably within the next 2 or 3 years even. Hit that like button, subscribe. I'm rambling. I'm just talking at this point. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.